Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Unsurprising, I'm sure you'll agree, but the Batgirl comic was cancelled a little while ago when DC needed to make a lot of its cuts, you know, and finally get rid of comics which weren't selling, but they were pushing out month after month. Batgirl was one of them. Harley Quinn is another, but they're going to reboot that again. Oh, jeez. Rebooting failure. That's what the comic industry should just rename itself as. However, in the upcoming final issue in Batgirl 50, giant-sized, maybe to fit all the egos in, we are going to be introduced to the character, I put parentheses all around that, of Ryan Wilder. Sound familiar? Yes, it's going to be this character here, who in the CW universe anyway, has become Batwoman. So, this article, by the way, comes from Bounding Into Comics from JB Augustine. So do go check it out as well to get all the context of everything. We have some snippets that will introduce her. And look, the first facial reveal of Ryan. Defensive body language, sat there looking miserable, got a face like a bulldog looking piss off a thistle, while of course Barbara is all, oh my god, you got the respect because you're the black, fawning all over, of course. So she's got an attitude. She lives in a van, as she's going to live in a van in the CW series. But in this version of the comics, this version of the character, I should really say, she's known Barbara for a lot of years. She used to live in the library, bum in the library that Barbara used to work as. And she's read all the books. So she's like the smartsy wartsies as wellsy bellsies. So she doesn't really need to have any backstory when they eventually push her, because she'll already be ready for action and perfect. But then, in a stroke which I found, look, should I have found this shocking? I don't know, but I guess I just hold on to the fact that some people are normal. But no, the writer of this comic clearly isn't normal. We get this snippet here where Barbara Gordon decides to go full Antifa. And let's just read some of this panel here, as we've got a group of masked thugs tearing down historical statues because they're ignorant and stupid and they don't understand history or the warnings that history leave. No. They just pull it down because they're bums, just like the people have been in reality, using a cause as an excuse for violence, which is exactly what has happened in current day and persists in happening to current day. Because if you're so naive to believe this has got anything to do with George Floyd or Black Lives, then you are unfortunately probably a little bit behind, shall we say. Take the time to re-examine our heroes and maybe find new ones as they tear down the statue. As they are all shouting and screaming with their signs, of course, you know, looting away, destroying businesses, black-owned businesses as well, murdering people, murdering black people as well, because, you know, they don't care about people's lives. I don't know if these protests will actually stop the gentrification of these neighborhoods, but who's to say what the best way about change is? Leave the mum and because Gotham's having its own little to-do, surprise, surprise. It's turned into its own little Portland, surprise, surprise. And is there one right way to do it? I became Batgirl on a whim, but once I donned the suit, there was no going back. Well, there was. And there was for you especially, because you were shot and paralyzed and could no longer be Batgirl and became Oracle. And then Helena Bertinelli during No Man's Land took up the mantle of the Bat in an effort to try and gain the respect of Batman, something that she had always craved. And then when she failed and Batman told her to take off the costume, he then gave it to Cassandra Cain, who became the next Batgirl for a while, until she relinquished the costume, eventually becoming Orphan. And then the costume went to Stephanie Brown, who was once Spoiler, who became Batgirl. Do you know anything about your own comics? You don't know anything about your own comics. Nothing. You're all ignorant. You come in with your ignorant stories and your lectures and your preaching, the whole reason why people aren't buying this shit in the first place. And you know nothing. And of course, Barbara Gordon, being a paraplegic, went on to become Oracle, one of the best characters in the DC universe. They actually took out a disabled character to make her able-bodied again. These virtue signaling weirdos. It was a way to do some real good, but have I? Has the hero done any real good? Because the people who write these comics know nothing about heroes. They hate heroes. No. And look at her. She grabs the hand of some rando black girl who's looking at her like, get off me, you gingerhead twat. And then she grabs the hand of another brown person. I'm with you. I'm a crooked, looting arsehole that blocks streets. I'm a white chick that's gonna scream at black people, telling them that Black Lives Matter. It's sad and embarrassing, but this is what mainstream comics has got to. And because this, of course, was a comic which has been cancelled, they don't care. We don't mind sending this title out with a whimper than a bang. We don't mind destroying the character of Barbara Gordon and turning her into just some Antifa wannabe. Because we're all part of the Portland Mafia. Yo! You know, the city, which is just a pile of dog shit right now, which has been rioted and rioted and rioted on. But that's what you get. And old bulldog-looking piss-off-a-thistle-face here is coming into the comics. Great. But the thing is, folks, for all the ranting that I've just done there, I don't care. Well, I clearly do because I ranted. What I should say is, it's not going to have an effect on me. Why? Because I've now stopped purchasing mainstream comics. I stopped at Batman 100, and I have no intention of going back. Not unless there is a dramatic change in attitude by the writers, the artists, the heads, the editors. But there won't be, at least not for a significant amount of time. And that's fine by me, because the comics that I will miss will be worthless. Absolutely worthless anyway. But hey, look at Marvel's chairman. For all the ranting and raving that Dan Slott does, and all the people that castigate people on Twitter and call them ists and phobes and isms and all that stuff, what does the chairman of Marvel Comics do? Gives $15 million to Trump. So are you going to have the power of your convictions and walk away from Marvel because they go against your principles? Are you? Or are you just going to sit there and take a paycheck like the hypocrite that you are? I'm going to put my money on the latter. Hope you enjoyed the vid, folks. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.